Hey, Sherry Barna here, and I am here with Victoria, and I'm really excited to have her. She is a coach. She's all about female empowerment, and she's going to provide a lot of value to people who are either coaches or to women who just need some encouragement, some uplifting. So thanks so much, Victoria, for being on the show.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. It is my honor to be with you. Thank you for what you do. So for helping coaches, and I'm glad at least to be able to have this session with you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So do you want to introduce yourself? Tell people a little bit about what you do, who you are?
All right, thank you for that opportunity. Yes, my name is Victoria Showunmi, and I reside in Houston, Texas, beautiful place, part of the United States. I'm a mother of three wonderful children. Life is busy, and I co-pastor a local church here with my husband. We've been doing that for probably about 13, 14 years now together. And outside of that, I practice in the healthcare field. I'm a registered nurse, and I've been practicing for about 15 years. So from there stem my passion to be able to help other women, because I see women, we go through a lot, we do a lot, and at the same time, we want to be able to help our families, to help our husbands. And so that helps me to kind of launch out into empowering women mainly. I mean, I speak to men as well, but my focus is on women. So I started women empowerment, encouraging and mentoring women, and from there starting coaching, training, and speaking. So that is what I do mainly. In Houston here, we have a local chapter of what we call a Victoria Achievers Club. It is a group of professional ladies from different environments, different businesses, different professions. We come together to meet every month, so we brainstorm on ideas. We kind of strengthen our relationship, because my goal is to help women achieve their goals. And I cannot do that alone, so I connect with other women and we come together to make that happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know what? We need community. It's built in us. It is like we definitely need it. So I love that you're a part of a community that helps women. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So why do you think women need a coach or encouragement or just empowerment in general?
Oh, wow. So, if it's okay, I just want to share this personal story with you. I remember when I was probably my teenage years, I was probably about 13 and 14, where, by the way, I was born and raised in Nigeria. That is a country in West Africa. So about 13, I believe around 8, 13 or 14, thereabout, there was a situation in my family that I had, you can imagine, as a teenager, as a teenage girl, have to live alone. My mother had to move somewhere, so I was left alone in this apartment. I mean, it's a big house with other people in the house. And at that time, I was left alone to be pretty much take care of myself. This was like in the 90s. There was no internet, you can't reach people and things like that. And things were very, very tough for me personally. So it was like, okay, how do I survive? Because I need day to day food, basic things. And from that, I just started, talking to people like, what can a young girl like me do? That to be able to bring in money. And some of my friends, their girlfriends, they say, oh, they introduced me to big women who are in businesses for themselves, who are making money, who are producing items. Some were producing soaps, cream, and all of those. And I was like, wow. So I began to work with them. And then for me, it was just like to thrive, to survive, on a daily basis. Then I see that women are really doing a lot, running businesses and and I was making good money.
Yeah.
From that. And so from that stem to me like, wow, there is so much power in what women do, at least making money. And because then that time, my point then to me was like, when I grow up as a woman, I want to be able to be in control of certain things, and also to be able to be in a position where I can help other women
Yeah.
as well. So with that in my mind, so as I begin to grow up, I begin to find ways to help myself and help other people. And that has helped me. And so this day, when I have the opportunity to move to the United States and begin to make friends, it's like there is so much within us. We women, we are so gifted. We can make anything out, we can make something huge out of nothing. And so with that, I begin to find that I can do more. And then people will ask me, oh, Victoria, please help me with this, because I just like to encourage ladies,
Yeah.
encourage people. And then people will kind of share things with me, and I will kind of, give them my 2 cents, encourage them and all of those. And I begin to see that women, collectively, we are not doing a lot. I will see people say, oh, Victoria, I'm back to school. Oh, Victoria, I started this business. I've been thinking of this. Now I do it, just having that confidence. So that really, now I begin to have people just ask me questions. So, and from that, I just see that as women, there is so much within us that you just staying home, just raising the kids. There is much more to our lives than that. And so that really gave me the passion to help women to say, you know what, there is more within you. There is much more potential inside of you that the world needs to see. Let's help you get it out so at least you can live a fulfilled life. And also that you can be like a role model for other people, for your children, for the young girls in the community, to let them know it is okay to have a big dream. It is okay to go for something, and it is okay for you to achieve it. So that is what really gave me the inspiration to help women.
That's great. You know what? Everyone needs that inspiration, men and women. Everyone can do. I really believe, like, if you have a passion and you have a talent and it matches, you literally can do anything you want, as long as you're realistic about, your skills. And I love that you're calling that out in people. And a lot of people I find, even in everyday conversations, they almost need the permission to think big and dream big. And they just need someone in their corner being like, no, you got this. You could do this. If she can do it, you can do it. So I find that a lot.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So who do you like to listen to? Who would you be like? I have some people I listen to. I have one coach, but I love listening to other people that I'd call like my virtual coaches in a sense. What do you read? Who do you listen to on podcast or video? Who are your inspirations?
Okay. I have quite a few inspiration. My first inspiration, especially, is Oprah Winfrey. Oh my God, when she was still having a show, on ABC, 3 p.m.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I love that, because I could identify with her, and I could like, wow. And because on our show, also she will bring like other people and interview them, and they will share their stories, and those kind of like become like an inspiration to me. I'll be looking forward to that. Like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it too. So that give me inspiration. And as I, get older and everything, another inspiration for me is Terry Savelle Foy. She's a minister, and she has a ministry. And I don't know, something I just stumbled upon, I think on a YouTube page, and I listened. Probably that was in 2016, no, 2014, because that was when we moved to Houston. And I stumbled on information on a YouTube, and I listened. I just got the inspiration because she talked about dreams and goals. And that was my thing, like setting goals, working towards something. And I fell in love with her. I got a lot of her books. I attended a lot of her events, conferences in Dallas. I saw to the ministry because I just love what she does. And as time goes on, myself, I'm like, okay, and because my coach at the time when I got a coach, she is a member of the John Maxwell team. And she has a lot of information. She's so talented and so gifted. I'm like, please help me. So after I worked with her one-on-one for a year, and I look at the benefit, that was when I actually signed up to be part of John Maxwell. And that has been like a really eye-opening, door opening, and it kind of liberates me the more, because a lot of empowerment. The trainers there, the leaders of John Maxwell, they are so talented. They are so great. They are after you succeeding, and I signed up in 2017 into their mentorship. So having all these mentors, work with me. So those are my people, started from Oprah Winfrey, Terry, John Maxwell, and the leadership team. I mean, there are still people I still follow here and there, for marketing and all of those, but those are my big people. Les Brown too was another one I've attended, his conference. Normally, just getting the motivation,
Yeah.
getting the help myself so I can help other people.
Yeah.
You getting fuel so you can you
Yeah.
can help others. So those are my main people that have really helped me, in my journey so far.
That's awesome. You know what? Yeah, all of those people are great. I love John Maxwell, his books and his article. Like a lot of people are just so, he's been such a foundation for a lot of people to just go do their thing. So I
Yes.
haven't ever signed up for anything, but I'm always in the back of my head, like, it would be interesting to go through that program.
Yeah, he's a great leader, a great teacher. And I mean, for the past few weeks now, he's been doing a lot of things. So now on Facebook, open to the public, which
Yeah.
has really been helping a lot of people. So such a great resource, a great man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about everyone being in quarantine. All these big leaders who normally we couldn't have access to, they're just like, you know what, it's for free. Here you go. And I love it.
I know.
Yeah, I think spending time on myself and will help me grow my business, will help me become a better woman and a mother and all these things, right?
Yes.
So I love that they're all doing it online right now for free.
I'm telling you, a lot of them, we've had like access to a lot of them at like free of charge. So which has been a blessing of the quarantine.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was debating about going to Las Vegas for a conference, and then this whole thing happens, and I was late getting my ticket, and I was happy about that because then everything was easy, right? So then I was like, you know what, I could watch it, and it's not nearly the same as being on in real life. It's not the same when you're there. It's totally different. But it was cool because I got to stay home, and I just set aside time to, like, I said to everyone, listen, I'm going to my room. This is my time I have to learn, blah, blah, blah. And it was really good. But I love that we have access to all these people. And I actually discovered a lot of people that I didn't even know existed, like Pete Vargas. And I'm like, man.
Yes, I know. Were you part of was it Rise Cloud?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes, it was.
All right, so you help women. Is there some common problem that you find often when you're dealing with women? Like, how do you help them get unstuck? Is it a confidence problem? Like, what's a common issue that happens when these people come to you and need help?
So one big issue that I have seen with women is some of them have these big ideas in their head.
Yep.
And they don't know how to start.
Okay.
So it's like they are stuck on putting things on, like getting started. So they're like, okay, do it, but they'll be thinking of they're looking for the perfect way to get it started. And they spend a lot of time. If you speak with someone like 6 months ago, okay, I say I'm gonna start 6 months later, like you haven't done anything. They'll be like, I'm trying, I'm still working on getting the balance, getting the perfect timing, getting the perfect thing to do. So they are stuck in that. And so what I do with them is to kind of like break things down. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And to me, because as a person, to me, I like planners. And so I most of them have my planners that actually the one I just came out with, to kind of like help them to break it down, that you don't have to get everything perfect in your head. But when you take the first step, then you learn from the first step and you improve. But waiting to know everything is not going to happen. I'm working with a coach now, a lady now is branding and wanted to launch a coaching business. She's been working on it for so long. I'm like, now it's time for you to do something. So we started working together like a month ago, and she was surprised with the challenge I gave her. Like, I don't think I was thinking maybe 6 months, 1 year before I started having clients. I'm like, no, why do you have to wait that long? Now is the time. And we're like, oh my God. Like this morning, she sent some information to me, like, I'm doing this, now I'm ready. Thank you. So some people, they're just stuck on getting things out. They're stuck on analysis and everything. And some other people, the other thing that I found out is focusing. they have so many things that they are doing at the same time. And
Yep.
by that, they neglect the main thing. So we have people, oh, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do this. I'm like, you cannot do multiple things together at the same time. So
Yeah.
you have to have things in order of priorities. For right now, which is the main priority? And I said, it is okay. It may be your family for now. It is okay, and things will change to something else. But
Yeah.
you don't want to be working on multiple things and then you have nothing to show for it.
No, you
Because
know
then
what?
you're gonna be frustrated. Yes.
Yeah, that's a total, I see that all the time. People are like, oh my gosh, I have like all these things to do. And I'm like, okay, put it in a list and work one by one, because you can't be writing an email over here and getting ready to do this over here. I'm like, you have to be single-minded. And then when you are, you save a lot of time. Like when I
Exactly.
focus, I save a lot of time. When I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do, I literally waste what turns into hours a day or hours a week. And I'm like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Because I wasn't focused, I didn't have a plan. And then I ended up scrambling instead of working hard just for like a short period of time. So yeah,
Yes,
all my sleep
yes.
across the
So
board.
I mean, yes, you say that. So like, because or else if you are all over the place, you're gonna be stressed.
Yeah,
You're not maximizing your time, you're not maximizing your energy. Before you know it, it's gonna get to a point where you feel like you don't even want to do anything. But like when you focus on one thing at a time and you achieve it, it gives you
yes.
momentum to go to the next thing. You have the energy, the excitement to keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that always stuck with me is a few years ago, my husband and I were talking to another couple, and we were just talking about to-do lists. Like the wife had a big to-do list for her husband, and he said, it's just frustrating. He kind of gave up on it. And then as we were talking about why they gave up on it, he said, well, to tell you the truth, it's because she's the one that crosses everything out. So he never got the satisfaction of like kind of making his way through the list, because she kept adding things and she would take away things.
Take away
So
things.
that always stuck with me. Even when I make my list, I'm like, I'm not adding, I know I have to do these 5 things today. I'm not adding anything to it, and I'm going to cross it off when I'm done. I'm not going to half complete it. I want to
Mm-hmm.
completely finish it, cross it off, and move. And there's something about crossing it off that like helps you be motivated for the next task, because you know you did something really
Yes.
well. So,
Definitely, definitely, and that is what myself I do. I use similar things. I have my calendar. Every night before I go to bed, I write out the things I have to do for the next day.
yep.
Because especially as women, we forget things.
I would,
Oh my
yeah.
God, we do
I do the
kind of
same
like
thing.
look.
I tell
Yes.
everyone, because they're like, how do you organize your day? I'm like, it starts at night. Because I
It
like, I
started the
even,
night before, exactly, because if not, you're gonna forget it. Life happens.
yeah,
But when you have 5 major things that these things I have to do it, and you finish each one before you move to the next, you are
yeah,
not jumping back and forth, but you complete one, then to the next, to the next. And if you have time, you can add more things. But at least you want to
exactly.
stay focused, so at least you get things done for the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing it the night before, because the other thing, it helps me actually sleep better, because then in the middle of the night, I don't wake up being like, oh, I forgot to send the email or whatever I have to do. So it helps me, and it helps me wake up with a plan instead of being like, oh, now what do I do? I already know. I get up, go to my office, and I start right away. I want to go back
Exactly.
to the
Yeah.
stuck thing that you talked about. That was a main problem you said a lot of people have. Do you think people um, aren't so like they want to accomplish something, and they say in 6 months or 12 months because they're not quite ready or motivated to do it right then? Or are they waiting for things to be absolutely perfect? It has to be the perfect product, it has to be the perfect timing, it has to have the perfect website, and that makes them paralyzed.
Yeah, so one of the things that I see common, most people are waiting to have it perfect before they launch out, before they do what they need to do. They
Yeah.
want to make sure they know how what to say at the right time and all of those. That if I don't get it perfect, I cannot coach, I cannot
Okay. Yeah.
speak, I cannot do this. And I'm like, no one get it perfect the first time. That it is
No
okay.
one.
So no, you just helping them to know that it's okay. You're gonna make mistake the first time. I don't think there's any great person out there that would tell you they never make any mistake.
No.
Except for the fact that they started and then from that they have the confidence and then they do it again, they get better, they do it the
Yeah.
third time, and before you know it, it becomes second nature. So it's just the willingness to take the first step. Don't mind how it looks like. That's why you see some books, they have first edition, the second edition, the third edition, because they keep improving it. So you're okay to do the same. You're human.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of people don't give them permission to make mistakes. But if you look at anybody who's ever invented anything, like, well, anyone, the Wright brothers, they didn't all of a sudden just make an airplane. It took a little bit of time. They crashed a few
Yeah.
times and boom. Then after a while, it worked. Or the iPhone or anything worth it, there's always mistakes. You just learn from them.
Yeah,
So,
because if you never try, you never know what works and what doesn't work. And then so that
exactly.
is why, yeah, when you try, then you can now improve on it. You can I make adjustment, you can twist it, but if you never start it, you never know if it's gonna work.
Exactly. And you know what? I think people love the idea of doing something because then I think they're so scared of failing that if they just say, oh, I could have done that, oh, I thought of that, then instead of actually putting themselves out there to try. And I think people think about failure in a really negative way. So I always say failure isn't failure. It's like I always say, when my kids learned to walk, when they were like one and stood up and then fell, I wasn't like, forget it, you're a failure, you're never going to walk. I was like, oh, you got try again, try again, try again.